Equity in Reading Assessment by Jen Mickey Lamb. Equality has to do with giving everyone the exact same resources, whereas equity involves distributing resources based on the needs of the recipients. This is a little bit embarrassing to say, but for a long time I actually didn't know the difference between equity and equality. But as I dove deeper into education, it became clearer as to how important it is to know the difference, but also to be able to apply these two when it comes to how we work and assess as teachers. I realized that from the get-go, as educators, we know that it's a no-brainer to give and provide equality when it comes to assessing our students. Most of the time, our students are assessed in a one-size-fits-all style. Growing up, I feel like most teachers would provide very limited types of assessment. There was multiple choice, essay writing, and running records, and I don't recall being given much choice in the types of books I wanted to read when I was assessed, or the different opportunities to show my learning in different ways. Personally, I was not the greatest at writing and was more of an oral learner, and I enjoyed being able to voice my understanding of the different pieces of reading. As we can see in this photo, when we provide equality in assessment, we are giving all of our students the same opportunities through assessing them the same way. Whereas when it comes to equity, we're able to recognize their differences, not necessarily in the heights per se, like this picture, but rather the different styles of learning and how they want to show their learning. Looking back to the definition of equity, it is being able to distribute the resources based on the needs and skills of the participants. Brings me to the next photo here, where we have the educator in the middle here holding the learning of the students in their hands. At first I found a lot of pressure when it came to this, but I realized how impactful the role of educators are when it comes to assessment. In reading assessment, we need to be able to allow the children equality in their learning experiences and opportunities, but also recognize their differences in interests and skills, whether it be with their sight, their language, their skill levels, and what they're interested in. We learned about being able to provide different types of books in the classroom, as well as when we are assessing their reading. In this last photo, I found it very powerful, as we talked a lot about how important the environment is when it comes to a student's learning. When we learned about the 3 different types of assessment, including assessment for learning, assessment of learning, and assessment as learning, we realized that it comes in different forms. When we look at this classroom, we can see that there are children spread on the floor, reading on their own. There are children reading in groups. There are also different setups for the children to read in different types of chairs and centers throughout the classroom. Ideally, to ensure equity in assessment, I would want to provide not only a variety of books and reading material, but also visual cues throughout the classroom, especially for our ELL learners. The truth of it is that the way we structure our classroom can also impact the score and the growth of our students in their reading. We need to be able to assess them with equity by getting to know our students better and considering everything that we know as we assess each student who brings to the classroom a package of different skills, cultural differences, and experiences. Equity in assessment is not only seeing the differences in skills, but the interests of our students. And knowing those alternative assessments can motivate children to perform their best, where unmotivated students are not able to perform their best because of the lack of interest in material provided. In the end, as educators, we can try our best to work with our students, parents, as well as our colleagues to ensure the equity in the reading assessments for the students in the classroom.